So this one content creator shared a video talking about a planned boycott of all Kellogg's products beginning on April 1st. I've tagged her in the captions of this video. I highly recommend you go watch it. It's in response to the fact that the CEO of Kellogg's came out basically saying, well, if you're having trouble affording groceries for dinner, just go eat some Frosted Flakes, which obviously pissed off a lot of people at the audacity of this man to say this, especially when he just recently boasted about increasing the prices of Kellogg's items by 28% just because he can, and apparently he needs even more money to add to his billions. But basically, this proposed boycott would begin on April 1st and would last for 3 months until they are forced to reduce the cost of their products. And if they don't, the boycott will continue until they do. She even mentions how for those of you who have become red dye addicted to their products, to start researching some of the generic brand options that are out there as an alternative, or to use this app to research family-owned companies that could sell items that are very similar to these galactic empire companies that evidently control everything that we eat or use. This to me is brilliant because it really does force us to ask, why aren't we doing more to stop this grip of control that these billionaire elites have on us? I can't believe I'm about to reference a Disney movie here, but did you all see A Bug's Life? I mean, at one point in the movie, one of the bad guys' henchmen suggests, why should we even bother messing with all the little ants, aka, you and I, the regular people? To which he responds, because it's about keeping them in line. And if they ever figure out that they outnumber us 100-1, there goes our way of life. And does anyone remember how that movie ends? The ants come to the realization that, hold up, there are way more of us than there are of you, and they decide to give the grasshopper bad guys the big fuck you and run them out of town. Like, do people not realize that we outnumber these psycho, evil, lying, duplicitous, billionaire elite assholes like 1,000-1? I mean, it's even in the numbers breakdown. They are the 1%, and we are the 99%. And yet everything in our lives is dictated by them. All of your financial, mental, spiritual, and physical well-beings are at the mercy of what they want. The fact that literally all we have to do is unify together and stop buying their products, or remove all of our money from their banks, or collectively stop paying certain bills or taxes. I mean, think about it. What could they possibly do? When you really think about it, it is absolutely mind-blowing that every single thing in our lives that we complain about, I'd venture to say that about 95% of those issues are caused by the billionaire elites who are pulling the strings. If we all collectively woke up, collectively came together and said, enough is fucking enough, there is nothing they could do to stop us. And look, it's as simple as this person's video is saying. 3 months, for just 3 months out of your lives, use the internet to see every single product that Kellogg's has, and for those 3 months, do not buy a single product of theirs. There are 400 million people in this country. Could you imagine what 3 straight months of boycotting would do to their bottom lines? Could you imagine what 3 straight months of boycotting a company like Wendy's, who wants to start surge pricing, would do to that company? Could you imagine the literal shitstorm it would cause if everyone took their money out of these crooked ass banks? Or what would happen if hundreds of millions of people said, hey, you know what? We're not paying another dime in taxes until you fix the system. Could you imagine if there were 3 straight months of people who were barely able to afford the ridiculous rent prices, if they locked themselves in their places and just held out until these property companies crumbled from not receiving a payment? My point is that it is so blatantly obvious how we're the ones who hold the power. We are the ones who have the ability to come together and to end the nightmare that has been created for us. And yet, we do nothing. We continue to use their products, we pay their prices, and we bow down to their whims, choosing comfort over actual true freedom and peace. I gotta break it to you. Nothing great in our lifetimes has ever been achieved through comfort and inaction. Sometimes if you want peace, you gotta fight for it. And it's literally as easy as just standing up, boycotting products, and simply saying no. Look at this app. Look at the internet. We have never had it so easy in the history of mankind to be able to communicate with one another without mainstream media doing it for us. We use things like this app to voice our frustrations, to try and join people together in ideologies that will make for a brighter future, and still we do nothing because we're poisoned by their foods. We're distracted by celebrity gossip or brain-rotting TV shows or news channels, or they want us talking about what Taylor Swift is doing next with her dating life. They keep us fighting with each other about things like racism, immigration, or the climate. How stupid is it that if you equate all of this to a football game, right, you can see just how ridiculous this is, okay? In football, there are 11 players on each side of the field, right? And in any game of football, if 11 players on one side played against only one player on the other, it would be the easiest victory, right? It wouldn't even be fair or close. And yet, here we are, the 11 that are on the field, and we're letting the one person on the other side beat us every time. Look, I'm just one person. I'm just a regular dude, a nobody really, but I think it's about time we start changing the game. What do you think?